WH movement. We've been talking about SAI, subject, auxiliary, inversion, do insertion. Now let's look at WH movement, how that a WH element moves, right? So we have looked at yes no questions and two operation involve forming SAI and do insertion. So let's now look at transformation of WH question. If you look at this passage, this text, right, it has certain questions. For example, did you challenge him? It's obviously, now we know it's do insertion. Yes, sir. What do you say? So here it's different from SAI and do insertion. It has WH question in it. So we have other questions which starts with WH word. For example, who goes there? What did he say? What did you do? Right? So then why did you shoot him? So how does it happen? How do we make such question? Right? So let's look at a bit of it. The two WH question from the text are: what did you say? Who goes there? Right? So if we look at the constituent of the sentence 20 and sentence 21, where does what in 20 and where does who in 21 come from? We shall argue that the structure underlying 20 is like sentence, noun phrase, you, past, say, and what. So where is what? What mean that here was something. Here was something which was said, and the speaker does not know that, right? So similarly, what happened with the next 23 sentence, who, and then we have present go and adverb there, who is going there, right? So it means that who can be in the noun place, it can be found in the initial position, but what tells us that it is moved from the end of the sentence to the initial position. Who goes there? So who is in its initial position? It's the position which is generally it is found. So we do not need any insertion of any do in it, right? So we don't need it. Let's see that how do we make a WH question. For example, John put his money in the top drawer of his desk. The italicized drawer of his desk can be replaced with the WH question, because if we do not know where he puts, we used where, right? So it becomes, where did John put his money? So it means that John put his money in the top drawer of his desk. It was John put his money where? So where was in the top drawer of his desk? So we have moved where from the end position to the initial position. So this is WH movement. So how does it take place? So we see that it comes from wherever it is found. In a sentence, we find that there are certain WH elements which are moved to the initial position. Let's look at those elements. For example, the wedding is to take place on 13 April. So the italicized on 13 April is time. So if we do not know, we will put when instead of it, and the sentence will become the wedding is to take place when. And since WH tends to come to the initial position, so we'll move when from the end position to the initial position, when, and then obviously the auxiliary subject, auxiliary inversion will also take place. When is the wedding to take place? On 13 April, right? On place, this was sentence will be, right? So Suzanne will be wearing her blue dress tonight. When? Again, if we do not know tonight, we ask when. A man with red hair was waiting for Jane. For whom? Jane. I heard the telephone, not the doorbell. So if we do not know what was heard, I heard what? So what did I hear? right? So this is how actually the interrogative sentence are formed. These are Charles's shoes. So what are these? John hit Bill because he hated him. John hit Bill. Why? Right? So George got here by train. George got here how? The terrorist assassinated the ambassador. The terrorist assassinated whom? Right? So whom did the terrorist assassinated? So if we look at this in the constituent of the sentence, we have certain WH word if we do not know that constituent. Right? For example, if we do not know the subject, we either have who or what. Who for person and what for thing. If we do not know the object, whether direct or indirect, we have whom or what. Whom for person and what for thing. And then comes adverb. If it is place, then where. If it is time, then when. If it is manner, then how. So actually these are the hidden element. If we do not know any constituent of the sentence, subject, verb, object, adverb, etc., right, there are some WH word for them: when, why, where, etc. 5 W and H words. So we have to know where they are and we have to move them to the initial position to make an interrogative sentence. And when we make interrogative sentence with WH movement, obviously there is either SAI, subject auxiliary inversion, or there is do insertion in case of any verb which does not have any auxiliary verb. So this is how we make WH movement.